Men cannot be vulnerable if you don't make him the priority.
They want to be treated equally and they get very upset.
There is an obvious war on young men happening right now, and the society and women hate them.
Is that women are far more privileged than men. Gender pay gap has been debunked like so many times. Like it's not even a thing anymore.
A growing number of men are claiming that modern feminism and shifting gender dynamics have completely changed relationships, dating, and society itself. These viral TikToks explore controversial conversations around men feeling unheard, emotionally dismissed, and increasingly disconnected from modern women. Some creators argue that society encourages equality until men express their own struggles, while others believe young men are checking out of relationships altogether because they feel unwanted, criticized, or constantly blamed. At the same time, many women argue that these changes were necessary after decades of imbalance. As tensions between the genders continue rising online, millions are now debating whether modern culture has created deeper division instead of understanding between men and women.
I find it so weird when feminists are like, oh, we want equality. And the first thing that men respond to that is, oh, so we can hate you now? Oh, so we can hate you? Equal rights, equal fights? Like, why was that your first thought? Are we okay? Like, you guys are so weird. This is exactly why I hate men. Like, you guys are actually such weirdos. Like, what?
Men insult each other, but don't mean it. Women compliment each other, but don't mean it. Men AOE leaving women out of it, their lives that is.
Pick-me's of the world have existed long before Pearl, and they will exist long after the Australian, brand of pick-me's that we're seeing popping up. They have a firm belief that if they push other women in front of the bus that's heading for us, then they won't get hit. They're just delaying the point at which they get hit, and they're going to be so surprised and so shocked when they get hit. So we're all going to get the same outcome. It's just that they're going to have the nasty surprise element. And as you know, I call out Aunt Lydia's and pick-me behaviour because it enables and upholds abusive structure that men benefit from. Like, the worst thing is that dangerous, indifferent men uphold the system and the structure that abusive men provide for them because they benefit from it. Pick-me's do not benefit from it. Like, they will cultivate this following of men who hate women, but they still hate women, and you're still a woman, so you're never going to benefit from it. They are never, ever, ever going to allow you to profit from your platform or your words, or let's say you wrote a book or you started a podcast. They're not going to pay your bills because they inherently hate you and don't respect you. I am very selective about those pick-me's who I call out and who I put onto my platform, especially now that my platform is bigger than it, has tripled in size since December. But when I choose not to respond to someone who everyone is tagging me in or, sending me their videos, etc., there's a reason for it, and I will qualify it this way. I have worked in mental health for 11 years. And if I even get a whiff of it being a contributing factor to somebody's demeanour, somebody's belief system, then I will stay away from it, because it could be exploitative, but it could also be a whole range of other things which actually speak to that person's vulnerabilities. And it is nuanced in that way, right? Because the reasons why women uphold these structures are very different to why men do. Men do it because they benefit from it, and women do it to protect themselves. Some of them do it to protect themselves and to exploit other women and to put them in harm's way and in danger in an intentional way, or in a really selfishly motivated way. And then there are those who are doing it because they might be deeply traumatized, by some experiences they've had with women. They might be someone who is expressing that they don't trust psychologists. So they are talking about their trauma, and they're also talking about the fact that they have not addressed it in any sort of formal treatment sense. There's a whole lot of reasons why I won't. And also because I can smell from a mile away when someone desperately would like to see their video put onto somebody's platform, which will allow more people to see them, because the attention is 50% of the intention behind making this kind of noise. And it is just noise and it will burn itself out. It always does. Trust me. I've been an online content creator for 11 years. I have seen everybody come and go. Always look at the intention and a bit of a deeper layer as to why it might be happening. And as hard as it can be, coming from a place of compassion and empathy, because like I said, they might think that they're doing it because they're going to benefit from it, but it's probably to protect themselves in some capacity.
Modern women, stop objectifying and sexualizing me. Also modern women, let's normalize sex workers.
Why do some men feel so triggered when they find out that some women are being provided for by their husbands, boyfriends, and fathers? Sir, I'm not asking you to pay for me. I'm not even asking you to pay for your own women, but clearly it triggers you so much to see that some men can provide a dream lifestyle for the women which they love, and you cannot. And you're so scared that your women will go online and they will understand that a relationship with you is a scam. But of course, as a strong man, you think that you can win the feminist argument by bringing your favorite topic, drafting. And you couldn't go any lower. You decided to bring my home country into this, which by the way has been at war for 9 years now. But since I'm very patient and very kind, I'm willing to teach you. First of all, feminists want draft to be abolished for both men and women, in case you didn't know. And since you're talking about Ukraine, there are currently 30,000 Ukrainian women who are fighting in the Ukrainian army. And by the way, there are also millions of men who are not in the army. But it's everything which you needed to say to prove that you still believe that women have to prove that they deserve equal rights. And you think that they can only get them through suffering. It doesn't say anything about women. It says everything about you and how threatened you are by women who have equal rights. And you're also so threatened by men who can provide dream lifestyle for women. Because clearly, it makes you feel less like a man because somebody can do more than you can. Anyways, don't comment your internal issues and traumas on my page. I'm not going to help you resolve them because I'm not your ally, because you don't even support women's rights.
Second woman is trying to judge men by women's standards. We are completely different beings. What works for women doesn't work for men. But women keep trying to force men into female solutions. She obviously does not know men at all.
This is going to be challenging for a lot of the men to watch.
I've learned that nothing gets a more negative response from women than pointing out that men often feel forgotten after their children are born, and I am just curious if men have ever given it a single second of their time to think about how women lose their entire identities after they become mothers. How that version of themselves, pre-children, is wiped away. It is forgotten. She no longer lives here.
Now think about what just happened here. A man brought up a problem that a lot of men have and relate with, and what was the first instinct for this woman? Well, have you ever thought about us? No, we're talking about a problem that we have right now. And this is why men cannot be vulnerable with women, why we can't talk about our problems with women, because their first instinct is to immediately flip it on us and turn it against us. When men's issues come up, we are to blame and we are the problem. When women's issues come up, oh, what can we possibly do or change to make this better for you? It's very clear that that's how it is, and I'm not telling you it needs to change. I'm just telling you, you need to accept it as a fact that that's how it is, and that's probably how it always will be. Now, right here, she makes a great point that women do oftentimes lose their identity when they have their first child, right? They just become mom now, and they have to leave all of these other things behind. But that is not just true for women. That is also true for men. A lot of men give up their dreams, their goals, their desires, their hobbies when they have their children because they will do anything to make their wife and children happy, which, by the way, I think is a mistake. But let's not dive into that right now.
And if they ever considered that their entire marriage, their entire relationship would change and it would never be the same pre-children. Therefore, doing the work and setting the expectation and the understanding that they don't come first anymore. They are no longer priority number one. If you didn't go in with that knowledge or that conversation with your spouse, you have set yourself up for failure.
Our relationship with our children is not the most important relationship in our house. Just like she was saying that the men are setting themselves up for failure by thinking that they'll still be the priority, you are actually setting yourself up for failure if you don't make him the priority. Because the most important relationships in your house are your relationships with God and your relationships with your husband or your wife. What kind of future are your children going to have if that isn't right? All the statistics show not a very good one.
Feminists say that they hate all men until no man. They are belligerent and hostile to anyone who isn't a placard-carrying activist for feminism. The claim that male nature is toxic and that all men are inherently genetically evil. They say that they want female supremacy and that the future is female. They say that all men should start in prison or homeless. They joke about taking away the male right to vote, etc. And they wonder why most men avoid them whenever possible and don't want a relationship with them.
Disrespectful to you.
I think you've been disrespectful to almost everyone on this panel at some point.
Yeah, I know, but that's what. Here's the thing that's so funny, and this is why I call you a feminist, right? I literally am not treating you any differently than I would treat any other man who is sitting exactly where you're sitting. The problem is that inside of most women's brains, they pretend that they want to be treated equally, or they pretend that they want egalitarianism. And then the second you give them egalitarianism, they get very upset, right?
The thing that always pops in my head for this that I've heard was that men are raised on how to treat a woman, but women are not raised on how to treat a man. They are raised on what to expect from a man. And it's very telling with how a lot of women act towards men. And yeah, you can say, but not all women act like that. But to that I respond with, one bad apple ruins the bunch. How am I supposed to expect the next women I talk to not to be like that when so many are?
Do you need something? Do you need something? Okay, I thought so. Keep it pushing.
If you're getting rude, you can leave. Nobody was looking at you any type of way. I don't own the gym, I work here. Okay. Yes. And if you're getting rude, then you can leave.
That means what?
I can call the police and have you trespass right now. Would you like that?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead, let them know.
That's what we'll do. So right now, you can take your stuff and head up front. Alright.
Cut the cameras.
This is why I don't bother getting involved with women my age anymore. 8 times out of 10 they end up being just like that and accept me to fall in line like a good dog with their beliefs. Problem is most say, I'm glad you're such a manly man that has old-fashioned values, yet turn around and condemn people like that, men and women. It'll keep my time and money, thanks. Got my guns, got my money, got my job, got my food, got my freedom, and got my soul. Thank you.
There is an obvious war on young men happening right now, and the objective of this war is to keep men and women divided so that we don't join together to create family units, because if there's one thing that the elites hate, it is a strong family unit. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't see this problem getting better until women, myself included, take responsibility for the hand that we've had in radicalizing men. I'm gonna add this disclaimer even though I shouldn't have to. I'm obviously not saying that women are solely responsible for fixing this issue, okay? I'm not saying that. But I will say that we had a big hand in creating this problem, and it is our responsibility to partially amend it. So what's going on with young men exactly? Well, the simple answer is they are not doing well. They are not succeeding. Women are surpassing them at every level in professional careers and education, all of it. Okay, we are seeing young men struggle. They are addicted to porn. They are addicted to video games. They do not want to partake in society because they have internalized this message that society and women hate them. Now, because this is the message that they are constantly hearing from society, both online and offline, men are becoming more radical. They are looking towards figures like Andrew Tate because figures like Andrew Tate actually validate them. And we as women, we have not made this any easier for men. Okay, I will give you an example of what the average experience for a man is in this current society, especially online. Men go on TikTok and what do they see? They hear women saying, if you're not tall, rich, and hot, get out of my face. They see women doxing men online just for, sending them a DM on Instagram just because they're ugly. They see women saying, men used to go to war and die and now they just take pictures. They see all of this and it just reinforces this idea that society hates them and that women hate them. I don't know about you, but I would also not want to partake in a society that makes me feel that way. I would also not want to couple up with the gender that's making me feel that way. Now look, this conversation is very nuanced. I'm not saying this is the sole reason why men are becoming radicalized, because it's not. But it is a portion of it, right? And this is something that we as women can control. So ladies, I need you to stop complaining that there are no good guys out there. Because first of all, that's not true. And also, we are not creating an environment that is going to facilitate the growth of good men. We are creating an environment that makes them want to be reclusive. Because all we're doing is shouting, you suck, we hate you, get out of our faces. And I already know that some feminists are going to attack me in the comments saying, okay, pick me, okay, pick me, okay, pick Misha. But I don't care. I don't care, okay? I think it's very important that women are talking about this, okay? Because this is a problem. This is a problem in society. Men make up half of our population, okay? We want strong men. We need strong men in society. As much as you probably don't want to hear that, it's the truth, okay? Yeah.
I heard a woman saying that men don't sacrifice anything because they were going to do it anyway to what being a father is. And we sacrifice our future and our hobbies. I have expensive hobbies that I can afford because I am single. I can lose my job and have zero pressure because I can afford to fail as a parent. You cannot afford that because your children are on the line.
Is that women are far more privileged than men.
Your claim was that women are far more privileged than men.
Yeah, privilege as in we don't really have any duties to our country. And then also if we talk about things like no-fault divorce, we typically win in court by a lot. And also we live in a country where women typically influence a lot of the political and cultural decisions.
See your points. I think they make sense. But what about how women have way more issues with safety and the gender pay gap?
So the gender pay gap has been debunked like so many times. Like it's not even a thing anymore. It's been debunked so many times. That they basically took like a survey of like all the jobs women worked and men worked, and they compared the average income. But what they found was that women were just working lower paying jobs. Like they were teachers and they're comparing that to a male surgeon. So that's been debunked so many times. That's not a thing. But if we go back to like the actual privilege part, the safety, yes, there's bad people everywhere. And that just goes back to our biological differences that men are stronger than women. And so obviously some men are going to take that power to their advantage. It's very unfortunate. We kind of live in like a very dark and evil society. I don't think that necessarily has anything to do with my claim though, that women are more privileged.
Okay, maybe we just have different definitions of privilege, because I feel like being able to like walk out comfortably at night and stuff, that is a privilege.
That definitely is a privilege, but men are involved in crime a lot as well. There's male on male crime all the time. It's just not put into the media a lot.
Feminists don't realize that they're creating an even bigger divide between men and women than the one they're trying to correct, and they're dooming society in doing so. You can't create equal rights by making any group independent from the other. It's not about women's rights, men's rights, or race. The goal is to equal everyone's rights. Quite separating and start working together to make up for each other's weak points. How the hell is this so hard to understand?
I'm doing this new thing where I don't get out of the way of men specifically. And yesterday, when I was leaving the trolley, a guy totally shoulder checked me, assuming that I was just going to get out of his way. But I'm in the era, ladies, you know what I'm talking about, always getting out of the way for men and them expecting it. I'm in the era where I'm not doing that anymore. So watch out for me. I'll shoulder check you, bitch.
I don't know what rights they're fighting for today, or they have had equal rights for decades now. I support a woman working. Go ahead, knock yourself out. There are no gender roles. If the man wants to get home and cook for the family, go for it. Same with the woman. We're a team. We are not competing against one another, but I do strongly agree that if a woman can vote, she can also be drafted. Due to the president we choose can but us in a war. These videos highlight the growing divide between modern men and women as both sides struggle with changing expectations, identity, and emotional validation. Many men feel they are no longer appreciated, respected, or safe expressing vulnerability, while many women believe society is still correcting long-standing inequalities. The debate reflects a larger cultural shift where traditional gender roles, relationships, and social expectations are being challenged in real time. Whether people agree with these perspectives or not, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Modern relationships now require stronger communication, mutual respect, emotional awareness, and accountability from both sides if trust between men and women is ever going to improve. You're watching Modern Dating Logic, where we keep it real, not emotional. If you see the pattern, you already know what to do.